Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video,
growing up is realizing that Donald Trump, you might not agree with the man socially or morally, however, got it on lock when it comes to the economy.
So I'm an economist, and I'm gonna need y'all to get it together when you're talking about Donald Trump and his economic positions. Because here's the thing, there is a very big difference between the vibes of how the economy felt during a presidency and the economic policies that they passed and their effects on the economy today. Because newsflash, economic policies take a couple of years to finally see the impacts of. And so to say Donald Trump had a great economy because the economy felt better in 2016 to 2020, which remember during 2020 the economy crashed and people lost their jobs and the economy was in the hole. That happened during his presidency. And I'm not being partisan here because I've criticized the Biden administration and some of their economic policies in other videos. But when we're talking about actual economic policy that the Trump administration passed, and we're not just talking about the vibes of the economy, the major thing we can point to is the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, also known as the Trump tax cuts, which completely changed the tax code in a variety of ways. Now, I can make a whole video that would be 10 minutes long about these tax cuts, but one of the things that it did was it slashed the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. And while economic evaluation of this policy by the CBO found that the cuts would boost the economy, these effects would be short-lived. And these tax cuts, because you're not collecting revenue from these corporations, would add nearly $2 trillion to the deficit by 2028.
it's funny when some people choose to be in MAGA without understanding what policies are and how it can affect the economy or how it can impact the economy. And this lady is one of them. And I'm so excited that this economist start to kind of educate them or educate her and other MAGAs on how the economy works and how policies that are being passed can really take a while before they can start, yielding fruits. Okay.
When we assign an open book test and you still get students that fail. I know I said I was done making videos like this, but I just had a moment about a half hour that I need to share with you guys. The irony of this is I just shared not too long ago a video of someone who had like a moment where they had a conversation with someone who voted for Trump and they had like their moment of awakening, right? Like, oh no, I might have made a mistake. Well, folks, I just had mine. So for some context, I work for an education company. So I work with people all over the United States. And after the election, my company posted on our like channel that we use to communicate with, they said, thank you for everybody who got out and exercised their right to vote, like yada, yada. And you could tell, it was very, very easy to tell who voted for who based on how you reacted to this post. And I have to say, I was a little shocked when I saw this specific person react happily to this post, because this person that I no longer work closely with because of just like reassignments, this specific person that I'm going to be referring to lives in Oklahoma. So it's been about 2 weeks since the election. And this person reached out to me this morning and they said, hey, I have a question. You used to sit in IEP meetings and you have experience with IEPs from your time in the classroom, right? And I said, yeah. I have experience in Ohio with IEPs. Like they do differ by state, but I can help, like what's up? So this person continues to tell me that they just got out of their son's IEP meeting. Now their son's supposed to receive services next year. He's going into second grade. And they go, is it really something that they can do? Like they can deny my son's services? They're saying that they might not have services next year. If you've been following anything in the media lately, you are going to get there before I get there. And I said, well, legally, no. If your son has services in writing, an IEP is a legal document and it protects your son's rights. So no, it's not legal. However, if they don't provide the services and we get rid of said department that pushes those services, you no longer have the obligation, or the school no longer has the obligation to provide those services because they no longer have the department that provides them. And they continue to say, well, I don't understand how they can do that. Like he's supposed to receive services. They're saying they might not even have a department next year. And then they're also saying that they spent a ton of money on new literature for next year. That caught my attention. So I said, well, what literature? I know what literature, but I want to know what they have to say. And then they say, well, some sort of literature for like Western civilization courses. And You mean the Bibles that Oklahoma just sent to all of their schools, that schools are going to receive money for if they actually implement them? That literature? I just sat there, like, jaw on the floor. I could not believe that I was actually experiencing this in real life. Like, I've seen plenty of, like, people are calling it, like, the F around and find out moments that people are having now that they are actually seeing what's going to be happening now that Trump has been voted in. And I didn't think I'd actually experienced one firsthand. Like, I have to say, it's a bittersweet feeling, because to see the ignorance of somebody, like, suffer the consequences of their said actions, that student is still going to suffer because the services that they need are not going to be available to them next year. Because why were people so, like, floored that when Trump said he was going to defund the Department of Education, which, by the way, this woman is probably going to run. If you don't recognize her, turn on the wrestling channel. Apparently she's associated with that. I just want to be alive for the day that we actually put somebody in this position that knows what the F they're doing. This is how teachers feel when we assign an open book test and you still get students that fail. People had months, years even, with this man to study for the test. The test is voting day. How are you going to have years of time to have an open book test and still fail the test? How? How are people floored that Obamacare is the same thing as the Affordable Care Act? Why are people astonished that grocery prices are actually going to go up, and they already are starting to, before if they even go down? How are people, like, mind blown when they're reading articles about deportation happening to people that they actually love and care about in their lives? The privilege to not care and not do proper research and not figure out what the heck is going on in your own country is really about to bite some people. And unfortunately, like in my example, it's not just going to be the voters that pay for it. It's going to be the people that we don't even realize are going to be impacted by this. And I'm just like,
Well, no matter how open an exam is, a lot of people are still going to fail those exams, and that's the truth, because there's some people who doesn't really care if there's going to be an examination or if they're going to be, be struggling to get answers and all of those things. They really do not care. They'll be like, oh, I'm going to pass. Oh, nice. It's not my business. If I pass, I pass. If I don't pass, that people like that who really do not care, and what they just know is about themselves and what they can benefit now, not tomorrow. They don't think about the future. They don't make researches. They don't want to know. They don't care and all of that. And that is exactly what is really happening here, because some of these people didn't really take our time to do their own researches, and that's why they are just finding out, okay, that, oh, I might have made a bit of mistake, because if I had known better, maybe I would have done better. But what is done is done. You can't undo it, and you just have to live with the consequences of the things that you have done in the past, your actions. And yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. But I don't know how they're going to come out of this. And I hope everybody find peace. I hope everybody find what they're looking for, because I'm sure that everybody was looking for something before they made that decision. Whatever you were looking for at that time, then you're going to find it. Definitely. Okay, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. I'll be here to read from you. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and do give this video a thumbs up as well, so that more people can see it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on my next video. Bye, guys.